this past October, Jeremy Bullock and his wife Maureen flew over from London to attend a convention that we were holding in Gatlinburg, Tennessee for AdventureCon 2. And right before he and his wife had a flight back to London, England, I was fortunate enough to show them my collection here at my house. He played the original Boba Fett in the Star Wars trilogies, in both Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. And that's him posing with his wife in front of Yoda. There he is. He wanted a picture of he and his wife in front of Jar Jar. They don't have the full life-size Jar Jar Binks over in London, so he had never seen one of those before. So that's why he has that weird expression. He's pointing towards it. And then there's also one of all three of us standing in front of Anakin Skywalker. So that was one of the highlights of my collecting experience, or as far as the overall Star Wars thing for me, was actually having one of the actual actors that I admired, that I loved watching growing up. He was actually here in my house, and I took him around and showed him my collection and pointed out some of the things, a lot of Boba Fett items, and that's just something that I want to do every time we have a convention. Every time there's a Star Wars guest, I want to be able to bring them back to the house and show them my collection.
What did he think?
Oh, he was floored. He really liked it, and and of course he goes to conventions all around the world. He was leaving here and going back to London, and then they had another convention in Germany, like the month later. And he sees some of the larger collections in the world. And when he and his wife walked down here, he said this is one of the better collections that he's ever seen displayed. So that really meant a lot to me.
And what does he do now? Is he still an actor, or is he?
He does bit parts, voiceovers. Mostly, he just works the convention circuit. He's been in a lot of James Bond films. He was Q's right-hand man in all the Roger Moore James Bond movies. His son played Robin Hood of Sherwood Forest, the English version, back in the early 90s, and he was on that too with him. But mostly he and his wife just tour the world and go to different Star Wars conventions. Of course, the original movie's called Return of the Jedi, but they made this, 20th Century Fox put this out in 1983 to promote the making of this new Star Wars movie. At that time it was called Revenge of the Jedi, and they gave this to theaters as a promotional item. They ended up changing the title from Revenge of the Jedi to Return of the Jedi because at the time Star Trek II was called the Revenge of Khan.
They changed theirs too.
And they changed theirs to the Wrath of Khan. So yeah, they could have kept it to Revenge. But this is one of the mint condition flyers that I have from that, and some of the actors that I've met, from Billy D. Williams, who played Lando Calrissian, Darth Vader, R2-D2, and then over on this side, Peter Mayhew, who played Chewbacca, Jeremy Bullock, Boba Fett, Warwick Davis, who played Wicket the Ewok, and Anthony Daniels, who played C-3PO.
They know exactly how much Star Wars stuff is out there. You can measure the exact quantity.
Well, not exact, okay. But yeah, as close as you can. I mean, you're never going to...
I don't mean in terms of...
Made. Yeah, there's so many different companies throughout the world, but I kind of push this particular book because he's one of my friends, Jeffrey Carlton from Texas. He made this new price guide. It's called the Special Edition Star Wars Super Collector's Wish Book, and it has over 30,000 items. And in it has every Star Wars item, or close to every Star Wars item, listed with a price next to it. I don't necessarily go by the price, as a lot of collectors do, because the price fluctuates so much for the toys and for everything Star Wars. But it has all the cards. I use it for mostly a source material, because you can look something up and find out when something was made, where it was made, and how many of them were made, and who made it. So this is a very good type of book, and no matter what type of collecting you're in, whether it be toys, Star Wars, they make price guides on just about anything anymore. And I have a bunch of different price guides. They came out with the episode, or the first edition of this book that Jeffrey put out. And then this is the second one that just came out last month. And then what's considered probably the Bible for Star Wars collecting is Steve Sansweet. He has the largest Star Wars collection in the world, and he came out with a price guide years ago. And it has every Star Wars item listed in here.
How far along are you? Will you ever have pretty much everything, or not even close?
No, not even close. I try to collect a lot of different items from different countries and a lot of different areas. These are all source books and reference books that I have for Star Wars, Star Trek. No, I'll never have everything, but I like to have a little of everything, no matter what it is, whether it be clothing, jewelry, toys, action figures, cereal boxes, cans, posters, pillows, and that's what I like to be able to show. Anywhere from the Band-Aids to belt buckles, wrapping paper. Over here I have, Band-Aids, chapstick, toothpaste, toothbrushes, soap. I have the entire display. Video games, party supplies. This entire cooler here is filled nothing with just ties, boxer shorts, socks, beach towels, t-shirts, and the whole thing's just filled with nothing but just Star Wars items. Halloween costumes, hats, school supplies, computer mice, board games. I mean, you guess it. You think, whatever has Star Wars on it, I try to collect it.
Are the toys a main part of your collection, or just not
it wouldn't be one of the main parts of my collection. So many other collectors.
Could you just say that as with the toys aren't part of my collection?
The toys.
Just mention the toys at the beginning of that.
Oh yeah, the toys. The toys are not the most important part of my collection. I don't think you can collect Star Wars and not collect the toys, because there are so many neat toys that they come out with every year. I concentrate more on the promotional items, the cast and crew items from different countries, but toys definitely have a large impact on my collection. Some of the convention exclusives or convention figures, and this one they came out with was for the 25th anniversary. They came out with a metallized Darth Vader action figure for Toy Fair. And then the following year at Toys R Us, they came out with an R2-D2 metallized figure. And just this year, down in Mexico, they had a Mexico convention, and you could get a metallized Boba Fett action figure. So those are probably the three hardest to get or sought after action figures for Star Wars right now.